What's up, guys? Reg here, and today's topic, as you can see from the title, the honest truth why new designer fragrance releases fail to excite us, or pretty much don't even excite us anymore. So yeah, throughout the years, I've been just thinking like I can't really remember the time that I honestly was super excited about a fragrance release like that. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you, most of you guys watching this will pretty much relate to this, and yeah, some of you might not, but it's okay. So yeah, like always, this is my most honest and my most like personal opinion on this, um, of course. So yeah, number one thing is the recycled DNA slash loss of creativity. So what this means is um, you'll have like a fragrance brand, release a fragrance, right? And that becomes like a really big success. For example, um, Aqua di Gio, this one has like probably like 10 flankers already. It's got like the Profondo, Profumo, the discontinued one. It's got the Elixir. It's got the like the yellow one looking like the wood cap. I forget what that one's called. The Absolute, I believe. And then it's got like the other blue ones, and it probably has, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it has like around 10 flankers, and not even just this one, but like Raban with the 1 million line also has like a good handful as well, like around between like 5 to like 9 or something like that. And they'll become really successful, and for example, they'll just add like some weird tweak that's like really not that interesting. And for some of them, like for this one, um, the whole projection and longevity was a big issue, and they did fix it with some other flankers, right? But then what they'll just do after that, they'll just release flankers on flankers on flankers, and they'll probably make a elixir out of that flanker, and they'll add some like new concentration, and it's just like a new thing. And next thing you know, you have like 20 flankers already, just from like this one, right? And man, that's like really just kind of boring because it's nothing new, nothing too exciting to kind of make you fall off your chair or something like that, right? Just super boring, to be honest, in my opinion. But yeah, and then the next thing I do have is like the crazy inflations, like the overpriced designer brand competition, basically pressuring like each other to release, um, and putting no quality on them, right? And of course, like they also do, make their prices on their fragrances like much more expensive, right? So yeah, it's like a really another big thing, because you have like, and not just like a few brands, but like pretty much every brand in the fragrance like world is a competition. But of course, like designer to designers is more of a even competition, from like designer to like dupe, or dupe to I don't know, like a niche brand, right? So you have that competition already, and like they're just kind of being forced to release things like over and over. And this kind of ties to my other point, where I have the excessive flankers just being released in a short amount of time, man. Like, they'll just release like a new one, a new one, a new one. And every single time, and I don't know if you guys have kind of thought about this, but just think about every single designer fragrance, and think of a fragrance, and that one probably has like 10 flankers already, and it's pretty crazy. And if they don't have 10, they probably have like around 5 or 6, which is still a really big amount. And in my opinion, something that will really want you to, that will kind of just get you like really excited, is like a new release of like a whole different looking bottle, and like some notes that you haven't even seen before, like a weird combination, right? Like that's like another thing, like the bottles, right? They just be like the same thing, and then they'll just like end up switching up the color, for example, like these. um I have to, so like for example, like these, the same bottle, the same crap, everything's pretty much the same, just the color is the only thing that changes, right? And yeah, that's pretty much what they do, is they only tweak like something, and they'll be like, 160, buy it, right? And it's just like one of those things that me personally, it's like super half-assed, right? Because they're no longer, doing like anything like super new. And that's why when you see a lot of like those dupe, the dupe brands, and this is another point, you see the dupe brands like releasing of course, like mimicking that fragrance, and their whole bottle looks like so majestic. It's like a whole different presentation for only like 20 to 40 or $50, and it's like a whole new thing. And like when people see that, it like automatically is like, damn, this looks really cool and smells amazing. Yeah, of course, it's not going to smell exactly the same as the original, and it's not going to have that quality, but you are going to get a super good idea of how the original smells like, right? So you have the dupe brands doing that already, and they're pretty much taking off in the fragrance industry because of how cheap their fragrances are, and how pretty much of a good quality they tend to be pretty much most of the time. And on top of that, the bottles, like I said, the bottles are something that pretty much, and just not even that, like the whole box of presentation when you open it, it's just like really good, and this is kind of satisfying. And that's one of the things that designer fragrances honestly do lack a lot. um so yeah, like I said, they spend the least amounts to get the most out of it. And yeah, and then the last thing that I have here is the influencer overhype, predictability, and of course the lack of trust on them. This is a really a big one as well. Um, we like, for example, like I remember back then, um, when I would see a fragrance being super hyped and just being praised and just being glazed all over, right? It wasn't for just clout, or it wasn't for a promotion. It was because that fragrance was actually genuinely that good. And now, any random fragrance that you can see pretty much has gotten that crazy type of overhype. And from who? From, of course, those big content creators, YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, or whatever you want to call them. Why do they do that? Because they either already have a sort of sponsorship affiliation with the brand, or they are really trying to push it and get something out of that, right? And get some sort of recognition. So that's the only reason why they do that. And they are just basically programmed to just kind of think. And I don't want to be like super, like, I don't want to sound mean, and it may honestly kind of offend some of you, but yeah, like, they kind of seem like some sort of like programmed AI to kind of just say the same thing over and over. How, super beast, compliment getter, monster, crazy projection, crazy compliments, just a beast, right? It's like the same things being said over and over, especially with those like thumbnails of like some like I know it's kind of funny, but I did mention like some like panties, like some legs and stuff like that, and you won't even believe what happens after that, right? And of course, you have people being so curious, and when they actually get to smell that fragrance, it's like it doesn't, like, yeah, it smells really good, but it doesn't want to make me fornicate or do something like that, right? And that's when people start just losing their trust on them, and which of course causes them to even lose more excitement to the fragrance, not just releases, but just fragrances in general, right? So yeah, it's like a very thing where there's just like so many factors affecting it. But that was kind of, and I know that this isn't like the most definitive, and I know that I didn't hit like every single like um you know thing, but for the most part I did. managed to say pretty much everything that I wanted and that I had in my in my head. So yeah, like always, guys, let me know what you guys think. I love reading the comments and and connecting with you guys. And yeah, so like I said, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.